Welcome to the Elevating Funeral Service podcast. If you want to run a successful funeral home, cemetery, or pet cremation service, you don't have to be the one that has the lowest price. You do need to be the one that offers the most value, provides the best customer experience, and clearly communicates that in your marketing. On this weekly podcast, Ellery and Welton will show easy ways to demonstrate value to families and create differentiation that helps you stand out from the competition. Hey everyone, I'm Ellery Bowker. That's my good friend Welton Hong, and welcome to another episode of Elevating Funeral Service. This is the podcast where we talk with funeral homes and cemeteries and pet cremation companies about how to add more value, how to create differentiation for your business. Today, we've got a very timely episode, obviously with everything going on with the coronavirus, with the inability to hold services. The entire funeral business has just been upended right now, and everybody's been thrust into figuring out a new way to do this. The silver lining in all of this is we have technology, lots of it, and we know that you as funeral professionals have a lot of questions and you're maybe trying to figure out how to do this. Maybe you're just now thinking about even streaming. So what we wanted to do today was just to kind of throw a couple ideas out to you about some ways that you can do it, some ways that are better than others. So welcome, Welton. How are you doing?
Doing awesome.
Good. I've seen you on a bunch of panels this week. This has been definitely the week for online meetings. I've watched a bunch with the Unconference that was on this week. It was great. I think you did a great job on that as well as the other panelists. But at the end of the day, Welton, we've got a bunch of customers out there across the land that are just, freaking out, to be honest with you. I mean, just using plain language there. And we're all in this together. We serve that business, and customers of ours, friends of ours, people we know and care about and love are struggling right now trying to figure out, what to do. And I said something the other day. I said that every day, we have just this new level of shock and awe. Our breath keeps getting taken away every day. And you have to believe that at some point, they're not going to be able to shock us with anything anymore. And then maybe we can flatten out a little bit and try to move forward. But for right now, what I wanted to do is to get with you, and I know you did as well, to really try to help show these guys and funeral professionals how to stream online in what I think is the most effective way, and I know you agree with the same. So why don't we just kind of start with talking about what's out there now? So a funeral home wants to start streaming services. What options do they have right now?
Right. So there's definitely the funeral industry specific solution, right? So you have One Room, you have Funeral View, and a couple more that you do know.
Sympathy Net, TribuCast,
right.
Funeral View, and One Room. I think those are the ones that I know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. Funeral One.
Right.
Okay.
Then there are the free solutions that people are all trying to hop onto. Those are going to be live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live.
Right.
And of course, you can use your phone, right? You can do FaceTime. You can do Google Duo. You can do Facebook Messenger video, Teams, Skype video, Google Hangout, Zoom. So there's so many out there, different types.
Right. And I think that's the problem right now is they're just overwhelmed. As somebody in technology in the funeral business with tons of customers, my phone's been ringing off the hook for 2 weeks now. People are saying, how do you do this? How do you do this? And it seems like, webcasting for the longest time was this. Some people had it. Some people didn't even care about it. No one, it never was at the forefront. And now, boy, I mean, like that's their phones, the providers' phones must be ringing off the hook. So what I hope to do on this episode here is just kind of lay out what I think and what you think is the best option. I'm going to go ahead and put my opinion out there. I think that Facebook and YouTube are great. They're very easy to use. They're very super friendly. I think Curtis yesterday mentioned something on the Unconference that was important, of what they call digital fingerprinting, which basically means that if you're playing a copyrighted song, Facebook will pick it up, YouTube will pick it up, and they will mute your broadcast in the middle of it or shut it down. There's a real danger in that. I also think there's no security. People can hop on, people can hop off. I don't think I would use that. I think if it was the only option I had, I would use it. But if there are other options out there, I might not. And then so you got the free ones, then you've got the industry, providers. I don't know many of these guys personally. I know who they are. I don't know that I would use those, not for any reason other than the fact that I'm going to recommend Zoom, and here's the reason why. And again, I'm not throwing any vendors under the bus. I know that,
No,
what
they're
they're
good
providing
solutions. Yeah,
good
just
solutions.
yeah.
But here's the reason I like Zoom, and you can share your thoughts as well. I like Zoom because one, it's inexpensive, right? It's $15 a month for a paid account. It's very easy to use. But of the solutions out there, to me, it's the only one, or it's the best solution that you can do arrangements and streaming, not just one. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
where the most of the ones that I understand with the specific streaming solutions are going to just do that. They're going to stream. You're going to point the camera at something and you're going to broadcast that stream. Where Zoom, you can do what we're doing now, right? And we've seen Zoom calls with 50
easy.
people on it. It's like
Yeah.
Hollywood Squares, or if you're old enough, the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
You've got just people on there. So I think as this virus is going to continue on for a while, streaming the funeral service is important. But I think before that, we've got to be able to get to, how do you arrange these funerals?
Virtual arrangements.
Yeah, virtual arrangements. That's going to have to come before the virtual funeral. So we need to figure that out. So to me, I think if we can teach the funeral homes how to use Zoom, then they can do both with that.
Right.
And I think that Zoom is becoming very quickly a tool everyone knows how to use.
Yeah.
My son, I've got a second grader, and my son's teacher, who I'm not sure exactly how old she is, but she definitely is not into technology, and she's using Zoom now, right? And so we see a lot of people that are older that would not use Zoom normally are jumping right in because, again, it's user friendly. So that's my opinion. What do you think about kind of the solutions out there?
I love Zoom. You probably know I love simplicity. Videos I record on a daily basis, no fancy equipment. I'm all about simplicity.
Right.
So Zoom is probably one of the most simple thing you can deploy. All you need is a laptop, and laptops typically come with internal mic and webcam already, and you're in business, right? We have employees, we have friends and family that have very old laptops and no issues, right? Even launching from those old laptops, so efficient.
Right.
Yeah, so simple to use.
And you can use it just with a phone too, right? You don't have to have a laptop.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So why don't we do better? Why don't we talk really quick, just get real technical here or tactical here and say, okay, so the process would be they'd set up a Zoom account. Okay. And then they're going to schedule a meeting, right? They call them meetings. They're going to schedule a meeting, which they could start one on the fly, or they can schedule one. So let's say that we have an arrangement with a family at 2:00. We would schedule it, create the meeting, schedule it for 2:00. That's going to create a link, right? And then the funeral director could then send that link out to one person, the informant or whoever, and they could distribute it to whoever they wanted to.
Right.
And literally they click on that link at that time, and then everyone's on the screen. You guys are all talking together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you want, you can actually password protect it as well.
Okay.
That session. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so that's kind of the arrangement side. And by the way, for you listeners, what we're going to do is we're going to create a video that's going to walk you through exactly how to do this. So after this, there'll be a link below. You can click that link and download a video, and it'll actually be Welton. He's going to walk you through literally going to zoom.us, signing up for an account, creating a meeting to do the arrangements, and then he'll also show you how to create a meeting to stream the funeral. To show you how to do that from a computer and from a mobile device. So it'll just be literally a step-by-step. So we're kind of talking high level here, but that video will give you the more detailed explanation on exactly how to do that. And then of course, feel free to reach out to myself or Welton for any assistance after that, and we're happy to help you. Zoom is wonderful. So that's how you do the arrangements. And then, so now when it's time to stream the funeral, obviously you need a device with an internet connection, right? So if you're at the cemetery, you could literally take your phone.
Your phone's good enough.
Yeah, take your phone. It has an LTE connection. You could put it on a tripod or hold it up, open the Zoom app, right? Hit start meeting. And then somebody who has that link, you're now just, whatever that camera's pointing at is now being viewed in that link. And so your phone, which, again, Curtis said this yesterday, and I thought it's super obvious now, but that phone will record as good as any camera you could probably buy.
Oh yeah.
So that phone has a camera and it has a microphone. So if you just hold it up, open the Zoom app, you can start recording. I like Zoom because of the portability too, by the way, as opposed to having fixed equipment in, like mounted, and not that that's bad, that's great. But if you want something today, right, you want something you can get started with tomorrow. If you have a funeral service tomorrow and you want to stream it, you can do that with Zoom,
Right.
right? As
Right.
opposed to maybe a more fixed solution that'll take a little bit of time to get set up and all that. So
Right.
again, I think that Zoom is great for doing arrangements. I think it's great for streaming. I think it's fantastic for portability. So wherever you're having the service at, whether it's a church or the cemetery or your chapel or anywhere, you can just literally hold a phone up. It's literally that easy to do. So,
Right.
what are your thoughts on kind of how easy it is for them to set up,
Yeah.
or is there
Yeah, a
anything?
couple more ideas. So obviously with streaming, so there's two types of Zoom. One is regular Zoom where everybody can hop on, you get to see each other. And there's also the Zoom webinar format.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I still like just a regular Zoom. If it's just a small service, everybody can see each other and everybody can talk to each other as well.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe towards the end of the service, everybody can still talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's all recorded. It's recording, and once you go live, you can hit record. It downloads directly into your desktop, and then you either upload that to somewhere else or just upload on YouTube as a secure link. You can send that link to somebody else. So from a point of view, it's so easy. All you need is simple hardware, and if that laptop dies somehow, you can launch it from your device right away. It's all about redundancy.
Right.
And from my point of view, is besides doing arrangements and streaming as well, and many of funeral home clients of mine, their employees are starting to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
So they can have daily lineup meetings, they can have quick calls like this, right? So it's two-way. And pre-need agents, they can now conduct virtual seminars as well, instead of physical lunch and learns.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Because we all are working remotely now. And you know what? I'm going to put a link below too. So our friends at Tukio's, we love those guys. They did kind of like a fake funeral the other day on Zoom. And so they had all their employees get on there and they were going around and they were kind of demonstrating, and I thought it turned out really well. They were kind of demonstrating what a virtual funeral might look like.
Right.
Basically, at the end of the day, they've got all these squares up on the screen. So everyone's on the Zoom call and everyone is just sharing a memory about their loved one.
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
And what they were able to demonstrate very quickly was that, you know what, if we're all together on this screen, even though we're miles apart, even though it's all technology driven, Welton, the memory that you share with me right now about your loved one is not going to be any less of a memory if I were standing there in person, right? So maybe it's not as good as that, but I'm still going to be able to hear the memory. I'm still going to be able to hear your feelings, and you're going to be able to tell me what you think, and then the next person, and the next person, and the next person. And so what they were able to demonstrate is that has meaning, right? And that has a lot of impact on the gathering. And so while we're restricted to meeting in person, we're not restricted by any other thing other than our own limitations, right? And we can take care of some of that with this technology. So whether it's Zoom for arrangements, it's Zoom for the funerals, if it's Zoom for working with your employees and your team members, I'm a huge fan of it. And again, I'm not discounting anything that any of the funeral providers offer.
Those are good. Yeah.
Those things are great solutions. I just think that all around, for all of the different applications you'd use video conferencing for, Zoom I think is just the best application for all those different reasons. So, well, I know that you talked to a couple people today. You got them set up on Zoom. Just got them on the phone, walked them right through it.
Yeah, it's not easy, right? And they always thought they need fancy equipment.
Right.
They thought, wow, I need a fancy, let me go out and get a new laptop, or I need to get a nice external mic. Like, do you have a laptop? Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
They cannot get their mind that it's that easy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I'm doing this right now on about an $80 webcam.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, there's just nothing to it. So
this laptop is fun too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not expensive at all. So good. So again, we've got some different ideas that we're going to do on this podcast, but what we want to do is we want to bring you guys, actionable information, stuff that you guys can take away. And right now there's probably just nothing more important than figuring out how to run the funeral business today that looks very different than the funeral business, 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. And then, what it's going to look like 2 weeks out from now is still going to be unknown. But one point I did want to make, and Welton and I talked about this last night, was that what you're learning now and how to get this stuff set up is not going to be something that's going to supplant funeral service. So in other words, this isn't going to be something that you're doing just now while there's a pandemic going on, because if there's nothing else that the world has learned in this pandemic, it's that Zoom is real, being virtual is real, and now it's going to be minimum. Right. So you're not going to, just because when the pandemic gets over with and everyone goes back to normal, you're not going to stop offering streaming, right? Because families are going to come in and expect now that you're able to do that. So right now, while it's kind of replacing the gatherings, when this is over with, it's just going to augment the gatherings. And I think what you're going to find is that your arrangements are going to become more rich and your services are going to become more immersive, because now you're going to have the ability that if you're having an arrangement conference and the brother's in Seattle and he can't get out there to Virginia or wherever you're at in time, he can just Zoom in, right? You can be in the arrangement room literally with 3 people physically and have the brother up on a computer and you guys are all in the room together, right? So there's just no reason now for people not to participate either in the arrangements or in the actual funeral service itself. So I would invest in learning this. Again, Zoom is really easy. I think you do it 2 times, you're an expert at it. I think, and the good news is you're not going to really have to teach families how to use it too, because they're all going to be using it. If they've got kids, they're using it for their classroom now. They're likely working from home, so they're probably using it with their business or their job as well. So I think you'll find that I think when you say, hey, look, let's bring your brother in on Zoom, it's going to be as natural as saying, hey, let's give him a call. Okay. So on the next episode, Welton, which I think we're going to just have out in a couple of days, do you want to share what we're going to talk about as far as for like helping with the messaging?
Yeah. So I think I wanted to share with you guys, when somebody comes to your website, more and more families are coming to your website these days. And when they come to your website, first of all, you want to let them know that you are open. So we're going to share with you a pop-up, what to put on the pop-up, that you're open, that you guys are safe, it's still safe to come in, how to message that properly.
Good. So pretty much just how to instill trust and let them know that you're there for them. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly.
That's great. Okay, well, again, this was short. We're going to have a video below. You guys will be able to click on that. Welton will give you a complete walkthrough on how to set up Zoom. Again, I think you'll find it's very, very easy, and I think your families will find a lot of value out of it. So if you have any questions, you can send me or Welton an email. We're pretty easy to find, but we do hope you find this useful, and we look forward to talking with you guys on the next episode. Okay? All right. Thanks, everyone.